Today I'll show you how to remove unwanted elements from a captured image. A quick reminder, I'll be using Photoshop for this tutorial. This is not a promotional video, other software might have similar tools to achieve the same results. Also, it's essential to know that there are always multiple ways, more or less optimized, to reach your goal in image editing. This is just a peek behind the scenes of my workflow. I work on a Windows PC, so I tailor the shortcuts accordingly. So first, open your desired image in Photoshop. I always recommend working non-destructively. This means you can make adjustments and work on the image without altering the original layer. You can use a copy of the background layer as a safeguard if needed. To do this, simply create a copy of your background layer by selecting it and pressing Ctrl and J. I go one step further and create an empty layer where I perform the edits. I will show you a neat trick later on why. In the left toolbar you'll find the clone stamp tool, or you can use the shortcut S. When you select the clone stamp tool, the top toolbar in Photoshop will adjust to your selected tool. Here you can edit the brush size, opacity and more. In my example, a soft brush works well. Since I created an empty layer earlier, I need to choose Current and Below under the Source option. Otherwise, the tool won't work in my case. If you prefer working directly on a copy of your image, you can stick to the default settings. As the name suggests, the clone stamp tool lets you duplicate different areas. With the Alt key pressed, the cursor changes to a small crosshair. Now you can select the area that the tool will use as the source of duplication. Click on a part of the image while still holding down the Alt key, and that area will be selected. You can release the Alt key now. As you move your cursor over your image, you'll see a preview of what the cloning stamp will copy when you click. Now we can start stamping the tripod out of the image slowly. I select a suitable area near the tripod, using the Alt key, and then click with the left mouse button on the areas where the tripod is located. Try to avoid too many repetitions of patterns in the image, as they are noticeable to the human eye and make the image look unnatural. To counteract this, you can occasionally choose a different source point for the tool in between. This way you can create your own unique patterns. In my example, it's fine since we have a grassy field, which can look naturally varied. Depending on where your doll is located, you may need to ensure everything is evenly distributed. It all depends on the specific image. Remember, you can also restamp already edited areas if necessary. It's worth zooming in and out occasionally to get a better overall view of the image. Remember to use parts with a similar sharpness too, otherwise the picture might look unrealistic here as well. Now comes the advantage of working on an empty layer. You can easily remove mistakenly painted over areas. You can use the eraser tool, shortcut E, to erase areas you want to undo. If necessary, you can also reduce the opacity of the current layer to better identify the painted over areas. If you're familiar with it, you can also work with layer masks. This method is even safer and small errors can be easily painted back. We'll cover this topic another time. Once you're done, you can proceed with further processing of the image. In my case, I merged all my stamping layers with a copy of the background layer. I also removed the second stand with the same method. As you can see, I added some green color to the grass too. In some cases, you might want to add a shadow underneath your doll. This will help to make your picture more realistic. Now I move on to the next stage of retouching my image. With the clone stamping tool, you can naturally edit many other things as well, such as retouching joints or removing small imperfections. This tutorial is an introduction to editing. There's much more to cover, but for now, let's call it a day. While filming this tutorial, Photoshop Beta added a new tool called Generative Fill. While this tool has even more possibilities, I'll show you one suiting for this video. With this option, you can also select a certain area and remove elements from it. This is a lot faster and easier. The outcome is quite good. You'll get 3 results where you can choose from. This method also works non-destructively. Photoshop or other similar software can feel overwhelming, especially for beginners. However, with time you'll get the hang of it and appreciate each additional function. If you would like to see more content like this, make sure to leave a like and comment. Subscribe so you won't miss any future uploads. For more tips, follow Dollmoons on Instagram.